Good evening, everybody. It is a little after 9:30 here on a Wednesday night, halfway through the work week. We've got some things to talk about. It's not quite going to stay the same boring weather pattern. We've got a few changes coming. We've got this kind of an easterly wave moving across the southeast. We saw some of the influence of that today. It actually spread the shower and thunderstorm chances west, where we have been seeing less rain. The other thing that's going to happen is if you're going down to the beach the next few days, rip currents are going to be stronger. So watch out for that. You're going to have some widespread showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast. The Hurricane Center gives us a 10% chance. I give it maybe a 0% chance. I don't think we're going to see a tropical disturbance at all. What's going to replace this very quickly Sunday is going to be an area high pressure, and it's going to cook us next week. It's going to be short-lived, and we've got a real nice surprise potentially coming up early August, lower humidity and highs in the mid to upper 80s. It may last the entire first week of August, but then after that, who knows what's going to happen. We'll get into that coming up, but let's take a look at your forecast. Let me refresh this over here. So we'll go ahead and start with the graphics. Pretty quiet night out there, not bad at all. Adam Wooten checking in from Fort Payne. Yeah, not bad tonight. Again, the bugs, it was slightly, and I say slightly cooler today. Highs yesterday were around 98 in the Shoals. Today I think it was about 96, 95 in Huntsville, 96 in Huntsville yesterday, and about 93, 94 today. The heat index will still get you. I don't think we're going to have another heat advisory. And some areas really, to be honest, have not reached the criteria for the heat advisory. In fact, we've seen several of these heat advisories issued this summer that have not verified. So again, there's some good news in that. However, there's still some heat illness going on out there for some folks. So again, stay hydrated. As far as the temperatures, it's still in the mid 80s. All we're picking up right now are birds and insects on the radar, and that's it. That's that ground clutter pattern there. And as we take a look at tonight, space station just flew over, by the way. I got the notification on my way back into work. In fact, I've got the app. If you ever want to know when the space station is going to fly over, there is an app, and it is basically it'll do this. It'll show you the orientation of it. It'll show you where it's flying, the arc that it's flying, and it's just called Spot the Station. And it gives you alerts it'll give you like a 10-minute countdown as to when it's flying over. So just have it follow your location on that. Now, I'm sure there's an app for the Starlink as well to find when that's flying over. Starlink's kind of random sometimes. I'll sit in the hot tub after work and I'll see the Starlink, but it disappears halfway across the skyline. I know it's Starlink, and then there's another one following. So the thing about Starlink is after they launch it, they're all together. It looks like Santa and his reindeer flying across the sky. But day by day it separates as they position the satellites out. So that's why it seems to come and go. And man, you look up in the sky at night anymore and there's something flying around all the time. Lots of satellites watching us up there. 94 tomorrow, the heat index 104. So again, stay hydrated, the same routine. I don't think we're going to see much of any rain tomorrow. Here's the pattern. This is the satellite kind of visibly shows you what happened today. Is that easterly wave is basically, this is a classic late July, August, basically September pattern without any fronts. And that's why the hurricanes and the tropical systems, they all move from east to west. So you've got this easterly wave coming in, and that's why it's going to be so wet down south. Probably not the best fishing offshore either. Down to New Orleans, some heavy rainfall. Again, I do not expect this to become even a tropical depression, but it is going to produce some heavy rain. Now here's tomorrow morning. We're going to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, I wish it was, Adam, I wish it was too hot for mosquitoes. They ate me up last night. I just decided to stay in. Actually watched A&E, I think it's A&E, but they have a biography on Ozzy Osbourne. I was watching that. And there's some things I went through there and was watching that I kind of recall way back when those things happening, but again, pretty good documentary on Ozzy Osbourne, watching that. I'm sure a lot of people are watching that stuff. So as we go through time tomorrow, notice the circulation here. area low pressure in this easterly wave just continues to transition right along the Gulf Coast. And as it does so, it's going to spread rain, and this also increases the rip currents down there. Notice the widespread heavy rain. David Paul down there in Dothan, he's probably going to be tracking a lot of special weather statements tomorrow as these storms track from the east to the west. And around here, we're going to have a rogue shower here and there. I don't expect a whole lot. It's going to be another hot, muggy, kind of benign day. And Friday morning, here's kind of where we start to see more of the influence of that easterly wave. Friday morning, it's already 77 at 7 a.m. It's just going to be a hot Friday. And here come the thunderstorms. They're going to come in from the south as they kind of slingshot around this easterly wave, and a lot more concentration probably west of I-65. You actually need a little bit more rain than we do east of I-65. Notice how things kind of fade out as we head into the evening hours, as we go past sunset. So I think we've got a very quiet Friday night, a quiet Saturday morning, doing some garage sailing, things like that. Maybe just headed out, car shows, got cars and coffee going on somewhere, I'm sure. But I have garage duty going on, and I've got a five-day weekend coming up, so I'll be working on the garage. I got everything primered today on the cabinets, so that's good. And I found the perfect primer for this high humidity. By noon Saturday, I don't expect a whole lot going on, but there will be isolated storms. Notice a bigger concentration in Mississippi and from Tuscaloosa, probably north up to the shoals as we go later into the afternoon Saturday. You can see those kind of climbing to the north, the Bankhead National Forest, Smith Lake, looking at showers and storms there. And then as we go to the next 3 days, the temperature trend is down. However, it goes way up as we go into next week, and we'll be talking about that after this quick break. Again, this is a minute break. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about that 10-day forecast. We're going to talk about some really big heat, and then a break from the heat. I'll tell you when to expect that coming up. All right, the break is over, and we are talking 10-day forecast. So, the first time this year we've actually forecast highs at 100, and that's coming next week. So we kind of get a little easy on the temperatures, and then Mother Nature hits us over the head with a sledgehammer next week. I think the Nintendo game, this is where the sun tries to kill you. Basically, I've seen that meme on social media. So we're looking at 95 Sunday, heat index is probably 105. 97 Monday, the heat index probably 106, 107. And the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when you reach 100, typically the air may be a little bit drier. So I hesitate to go 110, but it is possible for the heat index. And it's going to be brutal if we hit 110 on the heat index. So again, a lot of times these areas of high pressure, you can mix in some dry air because the air compresses under these areas of high pressure, and sometimes it dries out just a little bit. 100 degrees Wednesday and Thursday. The heat index will be somewhere between 105 and 110. But look at Friday and Saturday. That's that front coming in. Now, it's yet to be known right now with the front in the area, and we may get what's called a wedge. Because some of the model guidance has an area high pressure off the Atlantic, and that typically will bring in an easterly wind and give us a wedge. Easterly winds, the air over the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic's typically a little cooler, but this time of year it's not a whole lot cooler. But that does have an impact on our weather all the way here in North Alabama with a wedge. So just an easterly breeze would be nice. But that's what's coming next week, and it starts drying out just like it usually does in August. August and September are really dry months for us. We usually don't get a cold front down here, but this front is basically going to put us back to normal. So that's one way to look at it. So again, overnight lows could actually get into the upper 60s next weekend. So something to look forward to on this hot, miserable end to July. Yeah, definitely July is not going out without a fight. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll have the latest forecast tonight at 10. If not, I'll see you here at the same time tomorrow.